The women's soccer team is down in Disney for the MAC championships. Could the Bobcats advance to the semifinals?
Plus, men's soccer travels to New Jersey looking to crack the top 3 of the MAC standings. We'll show you if the Bobcats could take care of business against Monmouth.
And we have the top 5 plays from the week coming at you later on in the show. Don't move a muscle. Sports Paws starts right now.
Hello, good evening, and welcome into a new episode of Sports Paws, wherever you are or however you may be watching live on YouTube, Facebook, or Q30TV.com. I'm Dylan Fearon.
And I'm Jonathan Banks. Dylan, I'm so excited to be with you here in what was a busy week in Quinnipiac sports.
JB, a lot of teams fighting for conference tournament implications, teams fighting for seeds in the conference tournament, but one team in particular, women's soccer, already in Disney for the MAC tournament.
And that's a great segue. Took the words right out of my mouth. So let's take it starting on the pitch. The Quinnipiac women's soccer team is currently down in Florida, where they took on the Rider Broncs in the quarterfinals of the MAC tournament on Sunday. Before we show you the results of that game, let's take a look at the bracket at the start of tournament play. Top seeded Monmouth will take on the winner of Niagara and Canisius in a 1-8 or 1-9 matchup. The winner of that game will take on the victor in the tilt between number 4 Siena and number 5 Marist. Moving to the right side of the bracket, we'll go to the bottom first. Number 2 Manhattan will do battle with 10 seeded Iona. And as mentioned, 3rd-seeded Quinnipiac will play 6th-seeded Rider. And Quinnipiac prevailed in their first matchup against Rider with a 3-1 victory. Nadia Gill opened the scoring in the 5th minute with a composed finish off a feed from Kylie Lance. Rider then tied the game in the 36th minute off a goal by Cameron Santers. In the second half, with the game still tied at 1, Katrina Freeman had a goal line clear that led to a counterattack for Quinnipiac. Laura Nicholas was on the counter for Quinnipiac and got fouled, and Nadia Gill oozed class as she finished with a free kick that found the back of the net. The Bobcats took a 2-1 lead with just under 11 to play, Dylan. And guess what? Al Pelletier in the 83rd minute, what a finish, scores a breakaway with relative ease to send the Bobcats into the semifinals.
Can always count on her to score a goal late.
Absolutely. MAC Player of the Week 2 years ago, and she really just knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. But now, let's take a look at the updated bracket here. Monmouth used an 84th minute goal by Maddie Gibson to defeat Niagara 1-0. They will take on 4th-seeded Siena, who also won 1-0 by shutting out Marist. Manhattan went on an absolute tear, putting up 6 against Iona to set up an exciting matchup between them and Quinnipiac. These two teams tied 1-1 in their regular season game in Hamden.
All right, for more on the women's soccer team, let's bring in Maya Feigenbaum. Great to have you here. Maya, what's going on?
Thanks, guys. I'm great.
So Quinnipiac beats Rider 3-1. Its best goal scorers see the ball go in the back of the net. What were the keys against the Broncs on Sunday that helped them be so successful?
Well, I'm sure you have heard of the name Nadia Gill over and over again. She scored the first 2 goals, the second goal pushing them in front of Rider. Now, this wasn't any help from her teammate, Katrina Freeman, as she cleared the ball from the back of the net, sending it in the offensive end. Now, Nadia is leading right now in the MAC goals with 13. That is awesome. And also, not only that, but she has 35 points of the conference, first in that as well. But it's not always Nadia who is up there. It's the whole team. Everyone was on point and was excited to be there. The one thing I do have to say, they had 19 fouls versus 8 against Rider. That is a huge difference. They need to make sure to stay calm and collective and make sure that they are not going to get out of hand in the next couple games.
Yeah, and Maya, you made some phenomenal points there. I mean, when Quinnipiac played Manhattan, they tied 1-1 in Hamden on October 18th. So what does Quinnipiac have to do to beat Manhattan this time around?
Well, their last game they tied, and the coach even said they were frantic. They got nervous as they scored their first goal against them. They just need to stay calm. Again, just stay calm. And they're able to handle any team if they just play their game. I mean, as the coach said, in the last game, if they play 100%, they will be able to do it. And I think, honestly, if they, again, cut down the fouls and as they play as a team and go in and say, hey, why not beat them this time instead of tying them, I think they will have a really good chance of beating them if they go out and play their game.
Well, Maya just said it. If Quinnipiac plays their game, they can beat anyone in the MAC. If they do beat Manhattan on Tuesday, the Bobcats will advance to the championship game and probably take on Monmouth barring an upset. How far do you see Quinnipiac going in this tournament if, like you said, they play their game?
I mean, I believe them. This year, they went up a seed. They went from 4th to the 3rd seed. I think they could bring it back to the finals. And I think that if they play their game, again, as I keep on saying and I keep repeating it, they're able to stand up with Siena. They beat Siena. And say Siena upsets Monmouth, that would be amazing. And if they don't, they could have a comeback at beating Monmouth, and that will be an awesome thing to see. I mean, I think all it needs to take is for everyone to just play their game and have nothing to lose.
All right, Maya Feigenbaum, thanks a lot, and we'll talk after the championship game.
Thanks for having me. Have a good night.
All right, staying on the pitch, the men's soccer team has already clinched a spot in the MAC tournament, but seeding is very crucial, John. Top 6 teams make the tournament. Top 2 earn a bye. With just 3 games left in the regular season, the Bobcats would have a strong shot at a bye if they win out. The first of those 3 games was a road match at Siena last Wednesday. When both of your starting forwards score, life is good. And that's exactly what happened to Quinnipiac. Eamon Whalen and Rashawn Daly both score midway through the second half. Chris Yakovitis and the Bobcats defense stand tall and tough, and Quinnipiac wins 2-0. John, the Bobcats get that first win out of a necessary 3 to earn that bye, but they go to New Jersey, tough game against Monmouth on the road. You know, nothing is given in the MAC, especially on the road.
Yeah, you're right about that. Monmouth 6-0-1 at home, 0-7-1 at home. They're away, 0-7-1 away, and 6-0-1 at home.
Right.
Just staying with me right there. So Quinnipiac's playing the bottom 4 teams in the MAC. So let's see how they did against Monmouth when Eric DaCosta and his men came up. So let's roll the tape there. We have a huge MAC matchup here. Quinnipiac taking on Monmouth. Monmouth in the bottom 4. Quinnipiac knows they need to get a win here, but in the first half, Jake Arman off the corner kick, and Luke Bromley, get up, son! A deft header into the left corner of the net. The center back rises highest to score and give Monmouth a 1-0 lead. And look at the celebration. Look at the passion. Monmouth knows they need to win here, and they're up 1-0. Now let's take it later on in the first half. Matthew Taylor looks for Daly, but Sean Murray with a great intervention right there. Great interception again. Matthew Taylor rise up. Murray, what a save. What a save from him. Now we're in the second half here. A Monmouth player is going to drive forward the cross. But Yakovitis says what Murray can do, I can do better. Great way to get his hand up there. And Yakovitis' heroics are not over as he steps up and makes another great save. But it is not enough for Quinnipiac as they fall 1-0 to Monmouth.
So they have 1 game left against St. Peter's. They can't get a bye as that top 2 in the MAC, but they can still get a home game in that quarterfinals, potentially if they win and get some help.
Absolutely.
So Quinnipiac men's soccer, they play their second to last game of the regular season. Rugby has their last game of the regular season right before the playoffs. The Bobcats welcome American International to town on Senior Day. Quinnipiac is #1 in the national poll, so a win here would keep them there heading into the playoffs. Quinnipiac played AIC earlier in the year and won by 36. That would be chump change compared to Saturday. Senior Day for 8 Bobcats, including Alona Marr. She's the best player in the country. John, you know that saying, if at first you don't succeed, try again? Well, that's exactly what Quinnipiac did all game long. Already up 12-0. Marr eventually gets the ball untouched into the try zone. That's 5 points for the boys and girls keeping the score at home. Next Quinnipiac possession, 17-0 now. Marr wasn't done. Gets the ball from Poole again and says, get out my way, it's curfew. And I got to be in the try zone for 5. So, Johnny, catch my drift here, right? The Bobcats are going to breeze by American International. It's 69-5 now as we get to the second half. Poole with her 5th assist here, thanks to a try by Layla Scott. The freshman running like it's a tie game. Gotta love that if you're Becky Carlson. Quinnipiac wins this one easily, 74-5. Here's Carlson postgame.
You know, it's funny because everyone said, whoa, I just looked at your senior class leave and you got a lot of work to do. And, you know, it's true. They all have made huge impacts. They're all record breakers. And I expect that for every class that's coming out because we just keep building. So the juniors are going to have big shoes to fill and then the sophomores. But they've been great for us.
This is our, last regular season game with our seniors, and just to be able to play with them these past 3 years has been amazing, and it means a lot to have these supporters and to have our men's rugby team here to support us. It feels great to have all our parents here. I mean, parents flew in from everywhere. It's really good to be able to show off what we've been working for.
Well, Dylan, we're having a lot of fun here, but it looks like it's going to be time for our first break.
Always so with you, JB. When we come back, find out why women's ice hockey coach Cassandra Turner thinks her team played their best hockey over the weekend. And Josh Silverman joins us to talk some field hockey.
Keep streaming. We'll be right back.
Coming up on #that, we talk about some fun events around Quinnipiac's campus.
And we talk about some weird news that's been discussed around Twitter.
All that and more, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Whether you're on the quad, in your room,
or heading to
news.
For stories by student journalists you can trust.
We are covering the latest here on campus and in surrounding areas. Get the news you need to know every Wednesday night.
Hello, and tonight on Sandwich News, we will determine what makes a good sandwich and a bad sandwich. First, the standard sandwich. Uninspired, and frankly, a little gross. But we have here a Ray and Mike sandwich, the Cadillac of sandwiches. And if you want one, well,
come on down to Ray and Mike's at 3030 Whitney Ave, Hamden, Connecticut. Open every day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. QCash is accepted.
now that's a sandwich.
Sports Paws is brought to you by Custom Cakes by Steve. If you can dream it, well, we can bake it.
Thanks for staying with us on Sports Paws.
John, I know you're a soccer guy, but let's get the cleats off and put the skates on. The women's ice hockey team has had a bit of a sluggish start for their standards. 4-3 on the year. This weekend, Quinnipiac hosts two Ivy League programs, Dartmouth and Harvard. The Big Green looking for a big road win against the Bobcats. Here's Johnny.
Here I am, and I am ready to go right now. We got Dartmouth, the Big Green, taking on Quinnipiac in the first ECAC game of the season. Let's take it to the first period. Dartmouth driving in on goal, going to maneuver to the left and find the middle, but Abby Ives is there to make a nice reaction save. Quinnipiac eventually clears their lines now in the first period. Taylor House forces a turnover. She's in on goal. It's House with glory, and the puck goes in, but the ref disallows it. Anyway, we're still tied 0-0. Now it swings to Haley Naranja, whose shot goes wide, but Alyssa Baker is there to score for Dartmouth, 1-0. Now it's safe for the second period. Quinnipiac swings it around. Brooke Bonsteel going to get to the front of the net and can't score, but we got a little physical action going on there as Bonsteel takes a tumble. Love to see the physicality. Now we're going to go. Here's a shot. Just wide, as you can see, or not because it was cut off, but here in the third period, Abby Cleary's in. The shot saved by Honor. The Dartmouth goalie got another scrum here. Watch this. Damn, she goes down again. Love the physicality protecting the Dartmouth goalie. It's still 1-0 there. And now we're in the third period. Laura Lundblad lays the puck off eventually. Look at this pass right to Barry. Fires over the net. That was Quinnipiac's chance. As you can see, Dartmouth skates forward. Christy Honor put on a show. 61 saves for the Big Green. Have a day. Here's Cass Turner, post-game on her team's loss.
You know, as bizarre as this sounds, and I know I always try to find the positive in things, I actually think this is the best game we've played in a lot of ways, and I just told our team that. And, you know, the way we broke the puck out, the way we transitioned in the neutral zone, how we supported the puck in the offensive zone, we haven't done any of those things yet. We haven't played with that sort of confidence with the puck yet. So, you know, there's some things that we really did that, you know, I think we're great. Is it eye-opening that the ECAC is a battle? Absolutely. People come to play in our conference.
61 saves, John. That's crazy.
Woo! That's a lot of saves, man.
The next day, the Bobcats continued to shoot on goal like it was nobody's business. Q30 Sports' Naomi Gray shows us how Quinnipiac found a way to beat Harvard.
The Quinnipiac Bobcats came out on top of their second ECAC battle of the weekend with a 2-1 win over Harvard University.
We talk always about the ECAC being a battle, and it was again today. You know, our team came out, and I thought we did a good job possessing the puck today. We continued to create opportunities, and nice to see us capitalize in moments that were key for us.
Those moments didn't start happening for the Bobcats until early in the second period with a power play goal made by freshman Taylor House.
the first of her career.
It's a big confidence booster. I've been getting a lot of shots on net, and it's kind of like a weight lifted off your shoulders when you finally get that first one in.
Prior to House's goal, the Bobcats made 78 shots before getting the puck in the back of the net, and they would soon make up for it with this clear path shot by sophomore defender Kate McKenzie, which gave the Bobcats a 2-0 lead.
I saw Sama go down and then just kind of saw a lane to be offensive, and I jumped in there, and Sama had a great pass to me, so I have to give a lot of credit to her.
And much of that credit extends over to the team's defense, who after tonight's win has held their last two opponents to under 20 shots and 1 goal apiece. This win records the Bobcats' first of conference play, and despite a frustrating loss to Dartmouth on Friday night, Coach Turner remains confident in the team's progression.
They really want to do well in this conference, and for us to answer from a loss yesterday that we weren't happy with and get 2 points today is really important and a big step for us.
Looking ahead, the Bobcats will travel to New York for some more ECAC action, where they'll take on Cornell University next Friday night. In Hamden, Naomi Gray, Q30 Sports.
Now, Dylan, check out this graphic. We're going to see the current USCHO poll updated on October 30th. Wisconsin is the only team that received first place votes, so they remain in the top spot with 12 wins and no losses. Good for the Badgers there. Boston College and Clarkson switched spots to round out the top 3 from last week's poll. Finishing off the top 5 are the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Colgate Raiders. Harvard received 9 votes after the loss to Quinnipiac, but they cannot crack the top 10, while the Bobcats are still on the outside looking in after not even registering a single vote.
Yeah, that's crazy. Plus Robert Morris sneaks into that top 10.
Yeah, I noticed that too also, yeah. It's good to see the other teams picking it up after not making it. Quinnipiac just needs to win next week to get that step closer to the rankings.
That's right. Plus, I think there's a Twitter poll here about TT Cianferano.
Yeah, Dylan,
John.
I'll pick you up there. TT Cianferano, the women's ice hockey forward, she's off to a slow start this season with just 2 points in 9 games. Last season, she recorded 26 points on 13 goals and 13 assists. Her sophomore year, though, Dylan, she was the ECAC Player of the Year. She missed some games last year, missed some games this year. But as you can see here, Twitterverse, they're split down the middle, Dylan. There's not much we can do here. 51% say the senior will not have a bounce-back year, and the other 49% believe she will return to her electric form of 2 seasons prior. And Dylan, I don't know about you, but it'll be a very interesting storyline to follow, so you and I will both be excited to see if she can turn it around.
Well, plus that slight edge saying that she won't return to form. Hopefully she sees that and, might step her game up.
Yeah, absolutely.
John, all night we've been talking about teams either playing in or getting ready for the playoffs. One team that needs to win, to even had a shot at the conference tournament, is field hockey. No easy task for Quinnipiac as the best team in the country comes to town. UConn looking to end the Bobcat season, but Becca May and Lauren Belsky and Quinnipiac have other plans, at least early on. Again, the Bobcats need to win over the nation's best and for Temple to beat Liberty. First half, corner for UConn, Casey Umstead shoots, deflects off Charlotte Vader's stick and into the goal. They don't even look happy, John, probably because that's Vader's 26th goal of the year.
It's a norm.
That leads the nation, but here comes Quinnipiac. Lauren Belsky, bang! 7th goal on the year, ties the game at 1. She clearly does not want her season to end. 1-1, but right before halftime, penalty corner for the Huskies. Barbara Hoogan rips one from the top of the circle and into the goal. UConn a little bit happier about this one. So we head into the second half with Quinnipiac down a goal. UConn's Vivian Tucker thinks she's got an easy tip in. Livy Golini says no. But Quinnipiac's defense couldn't keep UConn out in the second half for long. Here's Umstead, too easy. 13th on the year for her. The season winding down right in front of Quinnipiac's eyes. One more chance here for Belsky. Goes just wide, and that would be it. Valiant effort, but Quinnipiac drops the season finale 3-1. Here's Kyle Lavasser and Josh Silverman after the game.
The Quinnipiac seniors walked off their home field for the last time ever as they lost the last game of their careers 3-1 against the #1 team in the country, the UConn Huskies. I'm Kyle Lavasser, joined alongside Q30 field hockey beat reporter Josh Silverman. And Josh, I think Becca Main and company have to be happy that they kept the #1 team in the country within 2 goals.
No, you're exactly right, Kyle. This team played against up or below or down to their opponents this season, and their loss to Villanova is an example of playing down to their opponents. But they beat Liberty. They played UConn really tight, lost only 3-1, but it was really a hard-fought game, and Quinnipiac has to be happy with the way they played them today.
Senior Lauren Belsky netted the only goal for Quinnipiac in today's match. Josh, what can you say about her and the rest of the senior class?
Well, I mean, they meant so much to this team. Becca Main talked about it just a few minutes ago. They brought this team from the MAC into the Big East. I mean, that's they're playing at such a high level, and they're playing. There's a huge jump. That's the word I'm looking for, Kyle. What a jump in terms of opponents that you're facing. And these seniors cannot get enough credit for what they've meant to this program.
One returning player is goalkeeper Livy Golini, who will enter her junior year next season. She finished the day with 8 saves today, 3 goals against. Josh, what do you think is the future for this Bobcat program?
The future is Livy Golini. I mean, she's such a great person to be around. I've talked to teammates who say they love playing with her, and you watch her warm-ups. I mean, she's coming for interviews with us, Kyle, and she's just a great person. She was voted a captain as a sophomore. That speaks to her character and her play. Well, you put on the tape, and today that speaks to her play. She had a phenomenal performance today. Don't look at the goals and look at the stats. Put on the tape, and you'll see what she's played, how well she played today. And then you have the Martinez sisters. You have a great foundation. Yeah, they lost a lot of players, but this team still has a bright future.
The future definitely looks bright, Josh. Quinnipiac finishes its regular season at 6-12 overall, 3-4 in the Big East, just missing the Big East playoffs. For Josh Silverman, I'm Kyle Lavasser. We'll see you next time.
So let's look at the final Big East standings. Quinnipiac finishes tied for 5th, but lost to Villanova in the regular season. Bobcats technically 6th now. UConn runs the table, no surprise there. Old Dominion, Liberty, and Providence are the other playoff teams. All right, joining us now is field hockey beat reporter Josh Silverman. First off, Josh, your New York Giants can't lose when they don't play, so I bet life was pretty good during the bye week, am I right?
You know what, Dylan? They'll take the week, they'll get healthy, and I can't. This team is so bad, man. This team is so bad. Yeah, we'll stick to field hockey.
The Bobcats finished 3-4 in Big East play for the 2nd straight year, Josh. They just missed out on the tournament again, but they did lose a lot from last season. So is this season considered a success in your eyes?
You know what, Dylan? Talking to this team, covering them all year, that wasn't really the message this year. The message was make the Big East tournament. And when you look at their record, 3-4, that is about where they are in the conference. They're a 3-4, 4-3 win team. It's not about that, though. They started out 2-0 in the conference, and they beat Liberty. So they should have made the Big East tournament. They lost to Villanova. They should have been 4-3, and they should be playing in the Big East tournament. They've lost 3 of their 4 conference games. I know you covered the UConn game just minutes ago. So not including that one, their 3 conference losses, they lost by a total of 3 goals. Each loss was a 1-loss goal. And when you take that into account, we take into account the fact that they started 2-0 and they dropped to 3-4 and missed the Big East tournament, their goal for the season, I think it's hard to consider it a success.
Josh, real quick, you mentioned the Villanova loss. When you start 2-0 and then you lose to a team like Villanova that you probably should have beaten, is that where you look at the season and say, that's the reason you're not in the tournament?
It's a mix of playing down to the opponent, something they did when they played Villanova, and some out-of-conference games, although those aren't as important. The fact that Becca Main has told me numerous times they don't have a natural scorer because of the injuries, because of just the roster, so they've had to rely on midfielders and defenders to get them points. And the fact that in some games they're really inefficient on the penalty corners. I'm talking 0 for 10, 1 for 10. That does make for a good recipe for success.
Josh, when you look at this team right now, I mean, what does the future hold for them? They're losing a decent amount from this squad. Am I right about that?
Jonathan, you're exactly right with that. I'll tell you what, though. They're losing 3 seniors, Lauren Belsky, Dana Barlow, and Michelle Federico. They've combined for 50 points on the season. But after them, there's only Selena Reichart that's left that has a point on the season. The rest is the Martinez sisters, Amanda Blum, who's phenomenal playing on the ball, and of course, goalie Livy Golini. She's a captain. She's just a sophomore. She's going to develop into what I think could be the best or second best goalie in the Big East. She's a great teammate. They love playing with her. She's going to be the anchor for this team moving forward.
Quinnipiac always in it when Golini's in net. Josh Silverman, thanks a lot, man. We'll talk soon.
Of course, guys. Love the energy tonight.
All right, one more break, but when we come back, volleyball battles Fairfield as playoffs are quickly approaching.
And of course, Dylan, we have the top 5 plays of the week. Don't change that channel.
Hello, and tonight on Sandwich News, we will determine what makes a good sandwich and a bad sandwich. First, the standard sandwich. Uninspired, and frankly, a little gross. But we have here a Ray and Mike sandwich, the Cadillac of sandwiches. And if you want one, well,
come on down to Ray and Mike's at 3030 Whitney Ave, Hamden, Connecticut. Open every day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. QCash is accepted.
Now that's a sandwich.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning After.
Sports Paws is brought to you by Custom Cakes by Steve. If you can dream it, we can bake it.
Welcome back inside Sports Paws. We mentioned that women's soccer is in Disney playing in the MAC tournament and actually came out with the MAC season awards tonight, just now. Madison Barowick, a junior, is on the All-MAC second team. Nadia Gill, no surprise, on the All-MAC first team. And Kelsey Goldring, the co-rookie of the year, also made the All-MAC rookie team. So Quinnipiac, getting a nice showing for the All-MAC season awards.
Yeah.
Going into that semifinal game on Tuesday against Manhattan.
Right, and that perfectly makes sense. Since Quinnipiac is a team that's a dual threat in terms of scoring. They have 4 players that have over 10 points in the MAC. So very nice to see them all showing up on the score.
Plus the fact that Gill leads the MAC in goals with 13. But on to volleyball, John. The Bobcats fighting for a spot in the MAC tournament. Last year made the championship game. This year, injuries plagued them all season long.
Yeah, but now let's take it right to the first set here. Down 3-2 early. Maria Pinsari is going to set up Morgan Sherwin, who gets up, and that's a great kill right off the opponent players. Now take later in the first set. It's up. Pinsari, the spike. Oh, it's stuffed by Fairfield. Fairfield's up 20-17. Now let's take it later in the first set, and Fairfield wins that set 25-22. Let's go to the second set here. Quinnipiac down 13-9 in the second set. Skylar Day says, make it 14-9. It's a great kill from her. Quinnipiac is now down 14-9 in the second set. Pinsari to Sherwin, who goes for the kill, but no, not today right there. Fairfield's up 24-15, takes that set 25-15. Third set, match point for Fairfield. Kaylee Butt to the kill, but Quinnipiac gets it back. Haley Anderson shot off the net. Fairfield wins their 44th straight MAC game. Quinnipiac falls to 7-20 on the year. Quinnipiac falling to 7-20 on the year at the 3-2 loss to Fairfield. Dylan, now let's talk about a sport that you're quite familiar with, cross country.
I don't know if I want to talk about it.
Well, let's get into it. The Quinnipiac men's cross country team traveled to Homedale, New Jersey to compete in the MAC championships on Saturday, but left disappointed, Dylan, as they finished in 8th place out of 11 teams. However, Ryan Ansell was a bright spot for the team, a bright spot for the Bobcats on the day, as he placed 14th out of 144 runners. Ansell earned all MAC honors from Quinnipiac, improving 79 spots from his finish in last year's MAC championship, so good to see him pushing the pace.
All right, JB, moving from cross country, let's close it out how we always do. Top 5 plays of the week. We got some good ones. Let me start. Number 5, it's been a frustrating season for volleyball, and Kaylee Oates takes out her frustration on the ball with this kill. Quinnipiac gets the point, but Fairfield gets the win, 3-0.
Yeah, number 4, let's take it to the ice, Dylan. Check out this tick-toe action. Sam Miskevich to Katie Taven to Taylor House, and it's a house party in Hamden. Taylor House gets her first career goal. Quinnipiac beats Harvard 2-1.
Number 3, if it's meant to be, it'll be. But not meant to be here for Matt Taylor on this header. Monmouth keeper punches it over the bar. Hawks win.
Play number dose there. Women's rugby against AIC. Alona Marr gets it. Hey, Dylan, look, she's steaming forward. Look at this. Watch this. Ready. And whoop! Look at that move from Alona Marr. She's going to take that all the way for the try. What a move from her, fighting off that last defender. Quinnipiac dominates and wins in style 74-5.
And number 1, back to field hockey for Casey Umstead. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. UConn too good as the Huskies beat Quinnipiac 3-1.
Yeah, Josh Silverman and I were there for that goal. We were going crazy up in the press box. What a finish from Casey Umstead.
It's a tough task to ask Quinnipiac to beat a team like UConn. But anyway, that's it for us. Come back next Monday at 9:30 for more highlights, scores, news, and analysis.
Don't forget to check out our website at Q30TV.com and follow us on Twitter at Q30Sports. For Dylan Fearon, I'm Jonathan Banks. Everyone out there, have a great night.